When you say paperwork, what were you referring to? You have a contract that you make yourself?
No, no, no. I mean, like, I can show you guys
Oh,
like
like your
how to
bill.
fill it out.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds like a really crazy number, honestly, but it's not just my house where I live at. I have other properties. They gotta get paid. Sometimes they need a new air conditioner,
Yeah.
a new boiler, a filter, and I consider those bills because no matter what, I have to pay for them. So yeah, you pay my house here, but how about my responsibility everywhere else? When they come, I have to make sure you're okay with handling that too.
Well, also, like I said, I mean, I know you, so I know you're not just saying that like you've actually
Sure.
this is real for you. My question is, what does the man get for that investment? If I'm investing $50,000 a month into you, right? What do I get out of that?
I'm not asking you to invest. I
No,
mean,
no, no. I'm just saying, just like
I
if
mean,
we're not,
whatever you want. If you're asking me not to work,
so I
there
get
you
you.
go.
The benefit is that you're not working. That's the benefit that I get.
I mean, the benefit, I'm not working, I'm home, I'm being peaceful, I'm making sure everything's good at the house, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, and
Oh,
whatever you're required.
okay.
I'm a pleaser, so I'm gonna make sure my man gets whatever he wants. But at the same time, you have to make sure I'm happy. And if you're asking certain things of me, you gotta make sure that you can back it up and take care of that too.
And
So, right, what she said wasn't way off the wall, but what she's pretty much saying is, I won't deal with no regular man, right? I'm talking about a regular man that even has a business. Because there are guys that make more than the guys that she deals with who would never.
Should be telling most men are doing this at some level, whether it's
Yeah, it
living with
doesn't have
you.
to be that number, but you have to. You can't ask your wife to not work and just sit home and do, absolutely nothing. And then when she asks you for something simple as, hey, can I have some money for my hair and nails? You're tripping.
Fellas, I never want to hear that investing in the market is too expensive or stock market too expensive. Because if you got to give up 50 off top, I don't want to hear shit out of you.
Yeah. And I believe that's from your leisure, so they're right. You get on top of your game or things like that, but not keeping on your scratch to the ladies. That wouldn't be a wise investment. I bet if they were talking to me, they would say, don't deal with ladies like this. Seriously. I suggest a lot of guys not to deal with ladies like this. Watch this.
Aisha Diaz was posting. Aisha Diaz is an IG model, old video vixen.
And I say that because she expects it.
And she has come out and she's been on a podcast and she said that for a man to keep her, he would have to pay like 45K to 50K a month if he doesn't want her to work. People were upset. There's a lot of think pieces. There's a lot to the story. Let's talk about it. Aisha Diaz was on the Blackout podcast, and these guys were asking her, what does it take to keep you? And she specifically said, if a man doesn't want me to work, she didn't say if a man wants to date me. She didn't say if a man wants to meet me. She said if I meet a man who wants me to be in a relationship with him where I do not work, then I would have to be compensated for the money I would make if I was working. And
I agree. I agree with that. But look, what you're expecting, I say that because she is expecting. I guess it goes with this lady's head. Of course, she has to dance about it. And say, yeah, you're not going to do that, yeah, I'm going to do that. But guess what? If you're not going to do that, she's not going to be with you. Facts. You can say whatever, lady, but you're not used to that. They're not her. You're not Aisha Diaz. You're going to accept it. She's not.
Everybody heard Aisha Diaz saying that it takes 50K to date her a month, like a female's month, for shower. Like, un mes al mes que te tienen que gastar en ella. And I see some girls in the comments talking about like, oh, you ain't that type of ninja. That's why you can't take. No, we value ourselves. If you pay 50K a month, you don't love.
Exactly.
It's simple. This is why
Exactly.
people judge you, Aisha. Now I'm talking to you. Like,
And what he's saying is even somebody like Bill Gates. I'm just throwing something out there. This is a liability, not an investment.
You taking 50K from someone you probably don't even love, don't even care about. Like, you're never gonna find happiness that way. It shows what type of person you are. My advice to you was like, yo, you should keep that to yourself, honestly. Like, yeah, if you're making 50K, yeah, cállate. Like, keep that to yourself, no digas nada. But you came out and said it public, that makes you sound bad.
So,
And that's why they roasting you right now. I know you probably want to take it back, but like, whatever you do, keep on the low. Like, if you're making 50K a month, because you're probably making that right, doing that. That's why you said it. Because it happened before in your past. Pero be mindful. Piensa antes de hablar. Porque la gente, they're gonna run with that. Y todos los tipos que te lo metieron gratis van a salir como bagua. Every guy that hit it free, gonna start talking now.
I would love to see that. The guys that hit it free or that recently hit it free, because I know they're out there. Come forward. The internet wants to meet you.
Putting it right in y'all face. They putting it right in y'all face. We talking about Aisha Diaz today and all of the things that she said that got social media in an uproar. But before we get started, you know what I need? I need you to hit them subs and likes and run up that hype. So look, Aisha Diaz, she was with Rashad Bilal and Ian Dunlap. You feel me? They was talking money. You know how them brothers get it going. And she said some things. You feel me? She said some things regarding what a man would have to do in order to be with her. She gives proper context as to how she feels after the fact, but I want to listen to this conversation and y'all let me know how y'all feel immediately. Because to me, it's wild. To me, it's bugged out. So I got to pay anywhere between 45 to 50 bands to have a chick that mad people mess with, mad people that I know, mad people that you've had public relationships with, that if I walk into a room, they can say, you got a good one, right? I gotta pay 50 bands for that. Your bills is your bills. It was your bills before I met you. It was your bills when you were cool. It was your bills when you decided to live a certain type.
Yeah, well, she did say if you want me to stop working, that's it. Survey says that's it. She expects it.
I need them to bring back the real niggas. When I say, I need my help. I need my help. Feeling it. Bring back men. Bring back men.
See, you see the song she's playing? If you take your love away from me, I'll go crazy. That's the kind of song you sing after you get caught cheating. Over there with the flowers. Bring back 90s,
I
man.
don't know why I keep thinking you live first to barbecue. So I keep looking at the same damn post and I be mad as hell.
You're like dogs.
You see they come still, I thought I had another door.
Initiators, you know, like bring back the male and man.
They say that this year from like 2016, but if it is, bring back the niggas from 2016. Because what is happening with these men from nowadays? They acting more sassier than ever. I never seen them act like this. Yo, us females are stronger than them. We know what we want more than them.
Let's talk about how to repair sensitivity with new Sensodyne Clinical Repair. It activates on contact with saliva, creating a protective layer that regenerates with every use, protecting sensitivity from return. Try new Sensodyne Clinical Repair.
What's going on?
Intimacy's been missing.
I saw this app.
You introduced him to KTF St. Louis and winds up dead.
To buy or not to buy? That is their question. And nobody knows shoppers better than Shopify. The undisputed, undefeated checkout champion of the world. Businesses that want to win, win with Shopify.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff K. Gomez for this. Because you heard that? That's exactly what men are doing.
Whatever happened to men?
That there. Jumping on planes and we're gone. Why is that? Because these ladies want Sims, right? And most women expect the most from men. So men want nothing to do with them. That chapter of men doing this is over. Men will not do it any longer. Why do that? And then you turn around, you don't know what unless she's living with you, but still, even if she's living with you, and you don't see her all day long, you don't know what she's doing. Yes, I'm that petty. Seriously. It needs to be that petty. Why? Because these girls got bones, they got so many bodies, they got skeletons in their closet. You open the closet, skeleton. Well, how did that body get there? I don't know. It was in there for a long time.
The men that they call Sims are usually the straight men.
Are you sure about that?
And that is so true. Love women. They're the ones showing up, being present, not afraid to say, I cherish her, I want to be with her, I want to see her win, I want to spoil her, I want to protect her, and love her loud. That's not weak, that's strength. And you have some men, especially the one on the down low, I'm not doing for a bitch, I'm not doing all of that. That's simping, that's, y'all doing too much.
You know what? She expects it. Look at her. I think she got fake eyelash filter on. She's like the Chinese ladies. Like the video I showed the other day with the Chinese ladies showing the lights. She got the lights. She got the lights. They got a banner in America. I know she got it in America. So if those ladies how they looked before, and you got the lights, could you imagine? Put on that Kanye song. All of that lights, all the lights flashing on the face. Lies, lies, lies.
For women. If you're not doing it for women, son, who are you doing it for? Another man? Because it doesn't make sense. Why are y'all so bothered about actually doing the role of a man for a woman? These men will listen to you talk. Notice when your energy is.
I'm sorry to cut her off. I'm gonna leave it from now on, but you can't shame men into something. That's not gonna happen.
Rub your back, send you flowers, cook for you. Don't need to be begged to act right. And most importantly, they genuinely like women. They're not simps. They're just emotionally secure, straight men.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP! Simp!
The men that brag about not doing nothing for a woman either hate women or don't like women at all. Talking about I ain't buying her shit. You can't get $1 out of me.
All right, I gotta stop her. She's talking too much. Men are not saying they won't do nothing. Men are saying financially celibate until marriage. I simp for my wife, but not simp. She works hard for it. She brings things to the table.
Doing all that for. Let's be honest, some of them don't even like women like that. Are deeply insecure, hiding behind that super masculine nonsense. Are a low-key gay and resent women for the fact they can't be true about their own desires. Like, that's not our problem, baby, that's yours. It's getting repressed, angry, and scared of intimacy. Like, if the idea of loving a woman out loud disgusts you, then, sweetie, you are not a straight man. You're struggling with your own identity or projecting hate from a wound you won't face. Anti-simp men be obsessing over other men, not women. Have you ever heard about these type of men talk about other men? It sounds like they be in love. They dress for male validation, quote alpha male podcasts all day, try to be hard 24/7, want to impress their homeboys rather than impress the woman that they are sleeping with. Because the truth is, real straight men, they don't mind nurturing a woman. They don't need to flex by denying love. They're not moved by fragile egos. And let them keep using simp like it's an insult. Because it really just means he's emotionally available. He knows how to love with effort. He values a woman's softness, not just her sex. He will be the one her kids call dad one day.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
He's not afraid to be a protector and a provider.
Hold up. I was gonna let it go by. She'll be the one her kids call dad one day. You see how she slipped that in there?
So yeah, call the real straight men simps. And we love them for it. The ones that's yelling, I ain't doing nothing for nobody. be the ones that secretly watching other men glow up while they stuck in poverty. That'd be the funny part. Call him him. I'll call him mine. Because the same men that y'all mock are the same men that women pray for.
She tried to throw that in there like it was gonna. She tried to throw it over my head. Just said, ah! It said, ah! Like you know, Neo in the Matrix stopped it from moving. You know, the Matrix when he's moving like this. It said, ah! You know, when Neo got the power up, oh, like showed up. I got the power. Who got the power? Man, stop that. Hold up. The kids treat like a dad. What did you just say? Single moms. See? You're not getting that by on us. No way, Jose.
Like, my dad, every time I'm home, my dad is the OG simp and yearner for my mother. And honestly, for his daughters. He does everything for us. This morning, I was just gonna run out and get a coffee. He was like, oh, the windshields have ice on them. It frosted last night. Let me go take care of that for you. Goes, puts on a coat, puts on shoes, goes outside. Warms up my car, moves it.
That's your dad. This is mom. What are you talking about?
He's the kind of husband who brings my mom a chai tea latte.
That's good.
Because he gets up early and she sleeps in. And then he makes her a smoothie every single day. Like, he will drive.
He gets up early and she sleeps in, and he's doing what? No. See, these ladies, they telling these stories, trying to sneak them right past her. He gets up, she gets up early, he gets up early, and she sleeps in. So she's sleeping in, but he gets up early. Why is he getting up early? Is he going to work? Like, seriously, tell the whole story.
You guys take it out of, I don't feel like renting a car. Like, they just don't make them like this anymore. Like, men used to go to war, and now they go to shows and watch other boys push buttons on a little screen to make music.
Yo. You ladies is showing the flaws in real time. Seriously, like they're trying to sneak them past me. But you're not getting them past me. I'm like, shh. Other girl, yeah, you know, kid. No. You know, she sleeps in. Get over here, right? That's like what do they call it? What's the name? From Street Fighter? What's the guy with the yellow name? You guys know his name. Scorpion. Get over here.
Door.
That's not gonna work.
Baby, if I break, will you catch my teeth?
The only black love I know is my own and that of black women. When I say I'm pro-black, I'm only pro-black women and children.
Who's gonna tell her?
I have no faith in black men.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
We don't care.
And I no longer waste my time believing that they are worth saving.
Religion has really self-esteem. It's quite disturbing to hear people say, I am nothing without God. My life has no meaning or purpose apart from Jesus. And they will say that shit with their whole chest. This is disturbing as hell to hear. Disturbing. Straight out the womb, you're taught that you're born into sin. That you missed the mark. That you were born flawed. That you're nothing but sinners.
I had to stop it right there. But the reason why we're going into sin is because of the sin Satan brought into the world through the woman to the man. And you're still preaching that same narrative. This is a godless country. This is a godless world. Man, these things are wild. You gotta be careful out there. Seriously. Because these ladies, man, they try to sneak it past you. And check this out, because this is what's happening with men.
Question for the men. What are some characteristics in a woman that you're looking for? Because I hear a lot of men say that they can't find a good woman. So what is y'all definition of a good woman? Like, what are y'all looking for? Because there's a lot of women out here. It's more women than there is men. So you would think that you guys had, like, you know, so many options. But yet, so many of y'all are single. So I'm just asking, like, some by choice. Others, they want a relationship. They just can't find the right one. So what are those things? Like, what are
what are those characteristics that you're actually looking for? Question for the men, what are some characteristics in a woman that you're looking for? Because I hear a lot of men say that they can't find a good woman. So,
No, I'm gonna stop right there because it seems like she's saying the same thing over again. But men want femininity, right? Men want ladies who believe it's the natural way. But you see, and we have videos of ladies saying, who like guys want girls. A lot of times, the girls that do it, what you guys are against the patriarchy about, is with God. Guys want girls that believe in God because they believe the man comes first. This is what we want.
but what is y'all definition of a good woman? Like, what are y'all looking for? Because there's a lot of women out here. It's more women than there is men. So you would think that you guys had, like, you know, so many options, but yet so many of y'all are single. So I'm just asking, like, some by choice, others they want a relationship, they just can't find the right one. So what are those things? Like, what are those characteristics that you're actually looking for?
I just said it. And the men will not stop until that's what we get. Seriously, that's why I show guys. Like, I had a meeting today, and the guy was shocked at what I was showing him because I told him the name of my program is This Is the Way. And I say it all the time in my videos. But when guys meet with me, they go, I finally see it now. And by the end of the call, they're saying, this indeed is the way. Because it truly is. As soon as I show a sample of something, the dots start connecting right away. That's what happens. I connect dots the whole meeting. They go, oh, connected. Oh, connect. It's like I'm playing Connect 4. Just 4, all over the place. And then one thing leads to the other. I show everything. I even show why the job market is the way it is in the West. Yeah, I go that deep. I don't make a lot of videos talking about what's going on in the job market, but I can't really explain that in the video. Like if I sat here right now and talked over everything, talked about everything, it would take me an hour. Like seriously, when I have my meetings, they usually take longer than the hour. Those that know, because there's a lot of information in there. But there's a lot of things people aren't doing. There's a lot of things in the job market, people, goals they can't reach. Because I'm telling you guys, what's happening right now, what people want to know, they're saying to you, show me how you can do in 10 minutes what it used to take you 2 weeks to do. Go. And most people will not know how to answer that. So most people won't get hired.
Alone to get rich. Most women waste years of their life waiting for the friend to join the gym, waiting for a man to take them on a trip, waiting for someone to start a business with. And because they're waiting, life keeps passing. You could have been fit by now. You could have built a brand by now. You could have seen the world by now, but you didn't because you were waiting for company. Going to dinner alone, traveling alone, showing up at events alone, yes, it might be awkward at first, but that's where you build confidence. That's when you stop needing validation to move. That's where you learn the hardest lesson, which nobody is coming. Nobody owes you momentum. And once you learn to do things alone, you stop being desperate for company. You stop forcing friendships. You stop tolerating men who waste your time, because when you can walk in a room alone, you become untouchable. And that's when you can become a rich woman as well.
Well, see, it's not just for ladies, right? Because I'm not against ladies making money, right? I'm all for it. But that's what men are doing right now. Men are trying to do it. And I want to show men how to do it. The way I ended up overseas, it was a long road. I carved my path. And it was lonely. I did it alone. Actually, I had my wife helping me. That's why she's my wife. This didn't happen by mistake. This was all planned. As far as us coming together, before I even came out here, she's the one that told me about the opportunity that brought me here. Ain't that something? I know, it seemed very weird, didn't it? Let me show you what that man is doing. He said, I love YouTube shorts, freelance, brand scaling, Y2K, streetwear, fashion, clothes, OOTD, FYP, internet money, e-commerce, FYP, young entrepreneur, trader, clothing brand owner. So let me tell you guys what I did. I gotta show you this. I gotta show you guys my screen to show you exactly what I did and to show you exactly what I do. Take them, talk to my friend. I use this as my friend. And not as my friend to have a relationship with, as my friend to make me a bag. So watch this. We're gonna get into it today. So I said,
I was embarrassed and I felt like I was already behind in terms of my retirement savings. My friend told me about Pension B. The Pension B IRA gives me control over how I see my money and someone to talk to about it. I loved having the ability to choose from a variety of portfolios with different investment options. I worry a lot about money, and the money I don't worry about is the money that I have invested with Pension B.
Pension B, a better way to IRA.
Walk until there's only one of you left. This is Walker. Keep on, the prize awaits.
ask the question. No, this is something else I did. This is the most powerful information.
Says I sent you a gift to the studio to commemorate. What? To get to the studio. Brokerage account is for bad cases only. We don't get it from brokerage. Right? I'm going to the studio. I'm going to the studio today. Kim sent me a gift. I'm going to the studio. Shout out to Mrs. Bailey says make the albums again. I love that song. Gorgeous. Status Matrix
everybody was looking at me like, bleep, got my face with that you talking about. Dame said we gonna be millionaires. You don't hear this? And I used to be looking at like,
Takes time.
okay, you think you're gonna find the million and give it to you? Cool. If that's what you believe that. Cause I know I ain't giving no, I find the millions, I'm not giving it to none of my homies. We can live together, I do some bread. I'm not giving you the million, then me go find my million. No.
Eugene?
AI is transforming customer service and the leader is Finn. We win in all the benchmarks and the big.
Eugene Henley Jr. has become known in recent years for his charity work to reduce gang violence. Now the FBI is accusing him of running a criminal enterprise that committed a series of crimes.
I just need y'all prayers. Need y'all. I don't even know what to say.
Remember Big U? He turned himself into federal custody after a shocking indictment alleged he committed a number of crimes.
And here we go. Apparently, I'm Big U lawyer now. That's what I've been told. Soon as you correct something, suddenly is why you defending him. Defending him from who? The YouTube Supreme Court already broke down the superseding indictment nonsense, already explained stacking the debt, already explained how pressure tactics work, already walked through how federal cases expand when somebody refuses to fold. And now I'm back again, knocking already head. Oh, he back, he riding, he must know something. Yeah, I know how federal procedure works. That's what I know. And this next part, y'all ain't gonna like it. Because now we stepping into that wiretap fairy tale shit. The one that said Big U normally use the telephone line to put people up for the feds. Yeah, that one, the dramatic one. Does this sound good in the thumbnail one? Like, slow that shit down, bruh. So you telling me a man allegedly running major operations knowingly used a federal wire to secretly help the government, and the government just didn't mention it? You see how wild that shit sound when you say it calmly? If that were true, it would be the whole headline. Long time informant exposed. Gang leader secretly cooperating, double-aided, indicted. That's how indictments work, homie. Government does not hide the trail narrative. They highlight them. They weaponize them. They use them to inflame juries. Because nothing threatens a prosecution like betrayal, breach of trust, secret cooperation. Man, that's courtroom gold right there. So why is there zero mention of it? Not buried, not hinted at, not even implied. Zero, bruh, zero. Because it didn't happen. Let's get surgical on these bitches. If someone knowingly used a telephone for years to feed information, why file a motion to suppress the wiretaps? Why try to throw the recordings out? A motion to suppress is filed to block the government from using these calls as evidence. If your whole story is I was helping them, you don't try to bury the tape. You play the tape. You let the jury hear. You say, see, I was a good guy the whole while.
You know it's 26,000 wiretaps, right?
Yeah, you got a lot of phone calls to the recording.
What would you say if the same phone and all your socials is named and the suit served broke New Jersey Roman 60 indictment in 2021? You are target number 4. Big U Eugene Henry, gang leader supplying drugs and guns to the New Jersey Rolling 60s from Los Angeles. And yet for the next 4 years, you stayed on the same phone calling all your homies.
Stop it. Get some help. Instead, suppression motion. Why? Because the defense is attacking the legality of the wire. Under Title III, the government has to prove necessity. They have to show how they tried other investigations at the first. If they were lazy, if probable cause was weak, if the affidavit had problems, if they fail to minimize unrelated calls. That wire can be challenged. That's federal procedure. So again, bruh, why would somebody who knew for years their phone was tapped try to suppress the very evidence they supposedly created intentionally? You can't explain that shit at all because it collapses the lie. And here's another fact that somehow gets ignored. The moment it became known the phone was tapped, usage changed. Big U used other phones to contact his wife. That's documented. That's in the government factual basis. That in itself is behavior shift once he found out. That's reaction once he found out. If you knowingly feed information through a tap phone for years, why switch once it's exposed? Why stop using it? That contradicts the very fantasy that they use to create the lie. Because the fantasy requires long-term knowledge. The big use conduct shows adjustment once awareness happens. That's not cooperation at all. That seems like damage control to me. Here's something else. If someone was an active informant who went bad or exceeded authority, the government would have absolutely led with that. It wouldn't hide it and surprise everyone that they would have framed it in the indictment, a post-detention memo. They'd say he abuses informant relationship. He breached trust. He operated as a double agent. That strengthens that narrative. Prosecutors don't leave leverage sitting on the table. Ever. Now let's shift to that development options nonsense. These dudes on the internet claim that his nonprofit was secretly used to set up gang members for arrest. That one there sound more dramatic than the Martin Scorsese film, except there's zero mention of that in the indictment.
That's the phone that he got.
Yeah, that is named in the contract with the 7th Street Division issued him a BlackBerry as a police issue phone to report all gang violence in his grid area. And this is an annual contract. If he doesn't produce, then they take it. He been out of the contract 10, 11 years. He did such a great job. He went from $550,000 a year. They gave him a $440,000 bonus. But he's in the contract. But listen, fuck all that.
Cuz is actually putting us in paperwork, right? And like doing like real police shit. I seen the nigga get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like shit like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Why is that?
Old Spice Cashmere Vanilla Body Wash. 24/7 cologne quality scent.
TaxAct is a gig worker's best friend. You might think their spouse or dog is their best friend, but when's the last time your dog optimized your itemized tax deductions? TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
When you walk into a Burlington, you'll be amazed at how much we've changed. Brands, trends, savings. It's giving you main character energy. Because at Burlington, the deals aren't the only thing turning heads. Seriously, with these savings, why shop anywhere else?
What if your small business could run a TV ad on the #1 streaming platform in America? Well, now you can. With Roku Ads Manager, setting up a campaign is as easy as making a social post. The best part is that you can get started for as little as $500. If you already have content made for YouTube and socials, just upload it here. As many versions as you want. Test it, tweak it, and run it straight to TV. And with interactive action ads, viewers can shop, request info, and engage instantly, all with their TV remote. So, what if your business could run TV ads? Now with Roku Ads Manager, it can. Get started today at ads.roku.com.
If a nonprofit was the front for assisting law enforcement to entrap people, that would be explosive. That would be headline material. Anti-gang nonprofit use a criminal front. That makes the case stronger. That paints motive. That paints deception. That influences jurors. And yet, Nothing. Not a sentence, not a paragraph. Because them shits is fiction, bruh. Developing Options is a documented nonprofit that began in 2004, focused on youth intervention in the 77th grid zone. You can dislike the man, you can question the organization, you can even critique outcomes, but you cannot invent a federal conspiracy narrative for zero documentations to back it up, homie. That's not analysis at all. That's fake storytelling to push a false narrative. And this right here is what's really dangerous. Once these stories get repeated enough times, they start sounding real. Not because they support it, but because they're dramatic. And drama spreads faster than procedure. But federal courts don't run on drama, bruh. It run on filings, affidavits, statutes, motions, standards, and logic. You can bash the man all you want. You can even lay up there and critique his case. You can debate the charges. Once you start manufacturing informant fantasy, that collapse under basic procedural review. Now you not analyzing, you speaking on open cases trying to slander the man. So who really the police? I'll wait, and there's a difference. This isn't about defending Big U at all. It's about cleaning up narratives that don't survive 5 minutes under federal law logic. Because once we allow dramatic lies to replace documented process, nobody's safe from internet indictments. And that's the real issue.
And I hesitate to even open this can of worms, but we have reason to be skeptical about your statements about Big U because you obviously co-signed Loose Cannon telling the story about how Big U basically got Nipsey killed or whatever.
We never said he got Nipsey killed.
Okay, but you're saying that he had premeditated knowledge that Nipsey was going to get killed.
What he's saying is...
And that didn't really pan out, although a lot of people are now looking at those statements as if they might have a lot more validity than they once thought.
And let's get into this part that people keep skipping over because it requires thinking. Wiretaps are not casual. They are not. We think he might be talking, just listen. Federal wiretaps fall under Title III. That means judges don't just rubber stamp them because somebody acts nicely. The government had to submit an affidavit. That affidavit had to lay out probable cause. Why traditional investigative methods failed. Why undercover agents weren't enough. Why search warrants weren't enough. Why surveillance wasn't enough. Why informants weren't enough. Listen to me again. Affidavit has to lay out probable cause. Why traditional investigative methods failed. Why undercover agents weren't enough. Why search warrants weren't enough. Why surveillance wasn't enough. Why informants weren't enough. Let's slow this whole made up fairy tale shit down. If Big U was knowingly using a telephone to line people up for the feds, why would the government need a Title III wiretap in the first place? That shit don't make sense. Why would they all get necessity? Why would they say we tried everything else and it wasn't enough? You don't wiretap your own cooperator just for shits and giggles. You debrief them. You put them in the room. You build cases through profit. You don't secretly record them for years hoping they help you. That's not how this shit works. The wiretap statute literally requires the government to show that other methods fail. So if somebody was actively helping, that destroys necessity. And if necessity fails, the wire fails. You see how the lie collapses once you apply actual logic and procedure? Now let's just talk about how wiretaps actually move. When the wiretap is authorized, it's for a limited period, usually 30 days. After that, they have to go back to the judge and renew it. And in those renewals, they have to show progress. They have to show what they gather. They have to justify continuing surveillance. If someone knowingly cooperating on that phone, that would appear in the narrative. It would change the tone of the renewal because now the government isn't trying to uncover unknown activity. They're documenting a relationship. And again, none of that appears. Now let's get into minimization. Under Title III, agents are required to minimize, meaning if a call is clearly personal, clearly unrelated, clearly privileged, it's supposed to stop listening. So when you hear the idea that someone was just casually using a tap phone for years to feed the feds information, understand something. That will require coordination. That will require documentation. That will require an established cooperation framework. And cooperation frameworks are not hidden once indictments drop. They are exposed because prosecutors use that to frame the motive. See? He was playing both sides. That's powerful language in court, bruh. And yet, silence. No breach of trust narrative. No double agent storyline. No confidential source turned rogue. Nothing. Now let's deal with this timeline shit. The moment awareness of the tap becomes clear, Big U behavior changes. That boy phone changes. Communication rules change. That's not the action of someone intentionally feeding information. That's the action of someone realizing surveillance is active. If you knowingly using the wire to assist law enforcement, you don't pivot away from it once it becomes public. You don't scramble. You don't adjust. You just continue. Because the whole time it was part of your strategy. So the story that these dudes selling on the internet requires you to believe: 1, Big U knowingly used the telephone for years. 2, the government never mentioned it. 3, the indictment omitted it. 4, the detention memo omitted it. 5, suppression motions were filed anyway. 6, Big U's behavior changed once exposure occurred. That's not a theory. That's big time contradiction. The moment people start saying he knew the whole time, they not just speculating. They're accusing someone of being a federal informant. That's not a small allegation. That carries weight. That carries street consequences. That carries reputational consequences. And you better have documentation when you say it. Because in prison, you're going to get killed or run up top, period. In the streets, the game has changed so much, they let these rats live. Some they even make famous. I swear, bruh, you can't make this shit up. It's like I said, no, I heard this, no, I heard that. No assumptions. You need documentation, paperwork, and not no docket sheet either. And if any of the bullshit that they're saying really existed, it would be in the charging documents. Because the government just not sit on leverage. They stack the deck. They lead with what hurts. And if there was a betrayal angle from an informant, it would be front and center. Instead, we have wiretap challenges. We have suppression motions. We have procedural battles. That's what's actually happening. Understand something. Federal wiretaps are technical, structured, judicially reviewed, and strategically used. They are not YouTube plot twists, homie. Oh, did you see what he said about the Nipsey on wiretap shit? And when you understand that, the fairy tale starts looking exactly like what it is, a fairy tale. And y'all dudes be saying anything and believing any of this old dumbass shit this dude be saying on the internet. That's how indictments are structured. They tell a story, they build narrative, they create betrayal scenarios, and that shit they saying online will be the biggest betrayal scenario possible. And yet, silence, because it doesn't exist in the record. And here's where it gets dangerous. People are confusing community intervention with federal cooperation. Those are two completely different things. Working to reduce gang violence in the city is not the same as secretly feeding law enforcement targets. One is social programming. The other is criminal informant behavior. Those are not interchangeable, bruh. Now let's be real for a second. If a nonprofit was secretly operating as a pipeline to help convict gang members, that wouldn't stay hidden for years. Not in Los Angeles, not in that environment, not with those dynamics. Somebody would expose that shit a long time ago. Because that type of betrayal does not stay quiet. And the government would absolutely document it in a high-profile indictment because it helps them. Always remember that. If something makes the prosecution stronger and it's missing, there's usually a reason. Now let's circle back to the bigger issue. People start inventing law enforcement conspiracy narratives with zero documentation. They're not analyzing the case. They build the drama that can potentially hurt that man's case. And drama travels fast on the internet, especially when it sounds explosive. Now here's what's really happening. There's a case moving through federal court. There are suppression motions. There are conspiracy allegations. There are superseding indictments, which we already broke down as a pressure tactic when someone refuses to cooperate. That's the battlefield, not secret nonprofit spy operations, not double agent fairy tales, actual procedure. And once you understand how federal prosecutors build cases, you start falling for the dramatic side stories that don't show up in the paperwork. But because paperwork wins in court, not some dude imagination on the internet. Now let's close this one here out the right way, because at this point, it's not even about big youth. It's about discipline. It's about how reckless people get when the federal case hits the timeline. Everybody turns into an expert overnight. Everybody suddenly fluent in conspiracy law. Everybody decoding indictments like it's rap lyrics. Everybody building narratives on vibes. And the wild part, most of the damage ain't even coming from the government. It's coming from the commentary, from people who don't understand understand the grand jury actually is, how witnesses get subpoenaed, how secrecy works, how stacking the deck functions, why superseding indictments appear, what suppression motions mean, like how the 3 wiretaps actually operate. Instead of saying I don't know, they fill in the blanks, and filling in the blank in any open case is dangerous, because once you say somebody knowing to use a tap phone to line up people, you calling them an informant. That ain't smart at all. That ain't light. That ain't entertainment. That shit heavy. And if you don't have documentation, you gambling with somebody's name. You gambling with your own life. Now let's clean this up one more time. Simple. If he knew the phone was tapped for years, he wouldn't move to suppress the wiretap. If he was secretly feeding information, government would have highlighted that betrayal. If the nonprofit was a set-up pipeline, it would be in the indictment. If he was cooperating, it wouldn't be stacking the deck when he's talking about going to trial. None of these pieces align with the lie they saying on the internet. In federal court, it's about alignment, documents aligning, statements aligning, procedure aligning, not storytelling and fake bullshit. Now here's the deeper issue. People think federal cases move like street politics. They don't. They move like chess, slow, layered, strategic, methodical. Feds don't need drama. They don't need plot twists. They don't need cinematic portrayal stories. They need evidence that survives in court. That's it. And when someone refuses to cooperate, they escalate, they tighten, they apply pressure. That's not mysterious at all, homie. That's mechanical. So when you see the superseding indictments, that's not some secret information revealed. That's pressure. When you see wiretap challenges, that's defense strategy. When you see suppression motions, that's procedural combat, not double agent behavior. Here's the part people gotta sit with. You can dislike the man. You can think he guilty. You can think he innocent. That's your opinion. But once you start manufacturing cooperation narratives without paperwork, you cross from commentary into fiction. And federal fiction is dangerous because federal court does not care about your narrative. It cares about what can be proven. And until trial unfolds, until motions are ruled on, till evidence is tested, everything else is just noise on the internet. This whole situation exposed something bigger though. People love feeling like insiders, love thinking like they crack something, love believing they see what nobody else sees. But real federal procedures is not flashy, it's technical, it's boring to people who want drama, and that's why the dramatic lies spread faster than the procedural truth. Because truth requires patience, and patience don't trend. So let's keep this here clean. This wasn't about defending Big U, this was about
As we all know, the Wayans family are the kings of parody films. It all started in 1988 with I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Keenen Ivory Wayans' directorial debut. The trend continued with the Emmy-winning sketch comedy show In Living Color. Nothing was off limits with the cast that included Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson, Jamie Foxx, and more. Pop culture and political figures and moments were heavily parodied. They continued the parody trend in 1996 with Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. The film parodied several hood films that were popular at the time. These movies included Juice, South Central, Poetic Justice, Friday, Boys in the Hood, and Menace to Society.
Bangkok, Thailand, late 1960s. There was a bar called Jack's American Star Bar. Soldiers on rest and recuperation flooded in every night. Young soldiers spending combat pay.
So the feds called you and was like, we need you to get on the stand and
No. They had once it had did once that happened and shit like that, they got the time about the Boles case. The Boles case that another motherfucker, yeah, see, that's some other shit. But yeah, but eventually I had to take
you know, like we just don't.
Yeah, and I was about to say that too. That was the next question. Kind of got a few more left about C Murder. And just knowing that he's been incarcerated over 20 years. He's been hanging in there. I mean, I haven't seen his daughters like my brother got in the same parish as Jefferson Parish, which he is in one of the most toughest parishes in the state of Louisiana. No other place got counties, we got parishes. How did that feel knowing, you know, you've been fighting so long for your brother, just trying to get him out, and Louisiana Supreme Court or United States Supreme Court denied the 10-2 knowing is Jason Rudy?
Well, so think about this, right? At one time, my brother was gonna get 8 years. He had already did 4. You do sign off on it.
Rovo is the AI solution that brings together every legendary mind in your workplace.
You gotta listen to the people that love you.
Right.
You know, instead of listening to the jailhouse people. You know, you got a brother in there, so you know it. Right. Like, you could talk about this stuff. And then people come. People come and go. Women come and go out your life. All this stuff, man. When that time go, you're going to find out who real or not. Your family going to be there no matter what. And sometimes, you know, I understand jail is tough. You don't even want to be around your family. So, oh, man, let me go do what I got to do. But people still out here fighting for you. People still love you. But you got to understand that the only way you're going to find it out, you got to get in that Bible and let God lead you to what he need to lead you to, because it's already tough. It's tough on these streets. Like, people dying every day on these streets. But in prison, you know, they getting drugs, they getting phones, they getting all kind of stuff. They constantly getting, OD. Like, think about it. We hearing about this every day. And it's like you praying for that. Man, I hope this don't happen to my people. We know that doing time is not easy, dog. And so if you got a brother incarcerated, you understand it. And then the world got so much to say. And then for me, sometimes I just wanted to be silent, because I don't know if I say this, you know, my brother might, this gonna mess me up. But you said, so it's like, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So it's kind of like,
walking on eggshells.
Yes.
Like I say, I know they got, it's probably doing something at the Capitol, because the Crime and Justice, a lot of other organizations, Royce Duplessis, that was for me, he was trying to push for some stuff. But now they got something that the Republicans trying to put through. They trying to give them, offer them parole. Are they trying to offer some of them plea deals? I think. So I don't know how that's gonna go and all that, but I feel like they trying to do something, might amend it a little bit to adjust it. But
it's tough, man. But that's why I tell people, right? Don't get in trouble. Trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out. And so that's one thing about me that I decided to do with my life. I decided to change. Can't nobody change me. I decided to say, God, I'm gonna change. And I think that's what other people have to do. Whether it's my brother, your brother, somebody else's brother, sister, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to go to jail, then you gotta change your life. And then your life is gonna be an example for all other family members. Because, you know, we got a bunch of family members to men that ain't gold. Right? Some of them got out, some of them changed their life, some of them died. You know, I mean, it's real life. And so all we can do is keep praying, especially once you get into a jam, especially if you're a celebrity. Like, you gonna get made an example of. Like, you got to know that. And so that's what my whole thing is. I'm not perfect, but my whole life has been, how can I change and grow and help give some information to these kids to where they could do better than us. And because you might not get the second or third or the fourth chances that I got. Some people normally don't get that. You know, my brother didn't get that. It's like, you know, you hang with the wrong people, you're around the wrong people. They want you. They don't even want these people. Even though my brother innocent. Think about it. But you prolonged this so long. And so I just think if he'd have took the deal early, we wouldn't be dealing with it.
And I noticed too, like I said, the witnesses and change their stories, but Jefferson Parish phone kind of, don't even want to give it a chance.
We in a different thing about it, right? We're in a different world down here. And so, so you got to know that. But God didn't change the heart of kings. So he could do the same thing of governors, of judges. He could change those, and that's prosecutors, and that's what we waiting for that to happen, because he deserved to be out here, you know, with his family.
And all
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and
DJ Young Matt.
Candy?
True words have never been spoken. Wanna see Rick me on a t-shirt like I'm Hulk Hogan. I appreciate the fans rocking with me. This is really just a small token. Really, when a bitch.
Shame on you.
Just bear with me here. Who's Kaiser Sose? Just bear with. Just bear with me here. Who's Kaiser Sose? What's up?
On any given day, patient pain can strike, and the impact on patient.
It's your boy DJ Young Matt. Right now you tuned in at 93.3 Trap House.
Coming outside, I got my mink on. Status. Mac Matrix, Back to the Future. Balenciaga pop, I ain't even tripping. You know that I'm a shot. Got it. Howling in the song. And I'm going on that Louisville, Kentucky. You might get lucky. Your girl tryna suck me. Your girl tryna fuck me. I'm in the coupe. I'm blowing on, and I'm in the soup. I'm looking like she's fruit. You know I like that blue soup. Kentucky. Your girl wanna fuck me. I got lucky. Yeah, she sucked me. I'm off in the mirror, you know. I do this shit in 2 different rows. Brooklyn. You can catch me in LA. Blowing on that Tupac. You know I got them 2 shots. Julio. You know I got that window. You know I got that good flow. You know I got that boy in. You a nigga ain't sure in around. Bugattis, the new shots. And I ain't even tripping out like the party. Yeah, I'm going Bacardi. Let's get it done. Your girl stick out her tongue. She know how to make me come. She say she do it for fun. She say she do it for fun. Man, I'm like Big Pun. You know I got a fresh life. I'm sitting in the parking lot. Your girl like to blush a lot. You know I make the party hot. Bacardi and rum. I took the girl club. So let's have some fun, yeah. Rest in peace, Money Mitch. I put a nigga in the ditch. You know my mix got a glitch. Mario, I love you, bitch. Man, we getting it. New different tickets. You know I don't lie how to kick it. I just gotta be specific. It's cold outside. I got a mink on roll outside. 24s on the wheel. So you know a nigga getting chips. Break me on some of them lips. You know I'm in 100 zips. 50s and 20 bags. I'm bad at Blue Jay. I'm getting off the mud. I know I gotta put up. Got trouble with the top gang. So you know if I got the change. Put money on a nigga brain. Like I'm Birdman. I ain't even heard it, man. Then you get it in a surgery. EI, man, I'm just from emergency. And you purging, big. You know we gotta get it in. Spend 5 for the 10. I ain't got nothing to lend. I just got money to spend. I just got money to win. I'ma do 100 again. Get it out the mud. Mac is the plug. 100 bowls of the love. So you know I sold drugs, yeah. Mac Matrix. Status. Big Bags Entertainment.
My husband used to ejaculate prematurely until this.
My hubby is ejaculating so fast, and he gets so anxious about it.
It's your boy DJ Young Matt. Right now you tuned in to 93.3 Trap House Radio. We got Cash Click in the building. Right now, what I need you to do, I need all my callers to call in. 502-533-2000.
It's your birthday, bitch. It's your birthday, bitch. It's your birthday, bitch. Show out and get some birthday due. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Get some birthday due.
Here I come, baby.
Happy birthday. We so glad you came. I'm blowing out the candles and I'm beating up the frame. Shake it like a dice game. Shake it then you wobble it. Pass it, bobble it. Take it to your telly, pass it and drop it. Give me brain like a scholar from college. In the club, make it rain dollars. We ball it. Throwing cash from the top so the money keep falling. At the bag from the block so your honey keep calling. Say yeah. It's your birthday. Pop bottle splash liquor. It's your Thursday. Yeah. It's your birthday, spot bottle splash liquor. It's your Thursday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday, bitch. It's your birthday, boom. It's your birthday. It's your birthday, boom. Show out and get some birthday due. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Get some birthday due.
Here I come, baby.
Blow out the candles, it's your birthday, baby. Let's get it poppin'. Getting older, but you're so damn fat, baby. I promise. No shaking for a present or something. Split the switches, we can roll out of this medical ganja. Now we load the people spot and see the play to the fattest. Feel love, but how you shaking when I'm standing behind it. Picture perfect, how you shining, baby, better than diamonds. If anybody says better than you, I'm my mama, they lying. Take a look because you made it. It's your birthday, baby, shake it. Let's get a bottle, let's get wasted. Here goes some Doja, baby, face it. It's your birthday, boom. It's your birthday, boom. It's your birthday, boom. Show out and get some birthday due. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Get some birthday due.
Here I come, baby.
Superior smooth taste, worth playing. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Switching to the DJI Action 5 Pro made it clear there was no reason to return to the GoPro Hero 13. But when DJI announced the Action 6, everything shifted again. A new model, new claims, and new questions. So today we are putting the DJI Action 6 and the GoPro 13 through the same conditions to see which camera actually earns its place. If you end up liking this video, then please click the like button and subscribe to this channel. Support honest content. Well, the biggest difference appears in the lens. The Action 6 uses a variable aperture moving between f2.0 and f4.0, which lets the camera react to changing light in a more controlled way. f2.0 keeps darker scenes cleaner, while f4.0 holds bright outdoor scenes steady without blowing out highlights. The Hero 13 cannot change its aperture and relies only on software, which often leads to quick exposure jumps when shifting between bright and dark areas. Next, the sensor separates the two cameras even more. DJI Action 6 uses a larger 1x1.1-inch square sensor with 2.4 micron fused pixels reaching up to 13.5 stops of dynamic range. Since